Hey everybody, Krystal Gamer here, and welcome to my Summer Winter Recreation Complex, aka SWRC, YMCA's biggest competition here in the lovely, very orange desert Oasis Springs. This place is a wonderful 50 by 50 lot of nothing but fun. It is the land of fun. It also comes with two stories. One is the sim story that I've made up for it, because I hear that you all like me to concoct these things sometimes. So I've got a little sim story for it. And one is my story for basically how and why I came up with the idea and where the build came from out of my head. So which do y'all want to hear first? I don't know. The sim story, maybe that's the better one. Maybe I should start with that one. That could be longer, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll play around and see how it goes. So this Summer Winter Recreation Complex, aka the SWRC, is owned by a Mr. Nathan Kane. Nathan is a former figure skater and 4-time Olympic medalist. He's got 3 medals from men's single events, 2 silvers and a gold, and he's got an additional gold that he got from the team event held for the first time the very last year he participated in the Olympics. So he's done really well for himself, and obviously with that many medals came lots of sponsorships and loads of money. And he took advantage of a lot of those sponsorships after he retired out of skating, and he also went into coaching. And so now he's in coaching now, and he's coaching the guy who won the bronze last Olympics. He thinks he can get him up to the gold next Olympics, so fingers crossed on that. But in any case, the only problem with everything really was that Nathan's fiance lives in Oasis Springs, and he loves Oasis Springs, did not want to move, loves the desert, loves the climate, the whole 9 yards. And Nathan actually loves Oasis Springs too. It's his hometown. He really loves it. He left only because when he was coming up, there was no skating rink in Oasis Springs, and his parents got really sick of driving an hour and a half each way, 3 hours a day to take him to practice. And so he ended up moving out of Oasis Springs to pursue his skating in the Olympics and all of that. And that's the only reason he left. So now he's got this ton of money that he got from all of these sponsorships and all of this stuff, and a fiance in Oasis Springs, and he wants to live in Oasis Springs, but yet he wants to coach. So with no skating rink there, what's the solution? Well, he decides that he wants to build a skating rink, but he needs to know before he invests all this money, because it's a good chunk of change to build something like this. Is it going to be worth it? Is it going to draw the crowds? You know, is he going to be able to keep it in business, or is he just going to tank and lose it all? And so he hires a marketing firm to take a look at the area and everything. And they do an analysis, and they said if he makes it appealing year round, in other words, adds to the complex, and it's not just a skating rink, then it should be successful. So he decides to go for this idea. He actually likes the idea a lot, especially being in the desert. He thinks it's a great idea. Decides to put in a pool. He was going to leave the pool out in the open, but they told him that with the windstorms out there, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. And he remembered that from growing up too. And yeah, it'd mess up a pool pretty bad with the windstorms out there. So he encloses it, but he encloses it all in glass. He adds a jacuzzi, showers and changing rooms and all that, of course, and decides to add a park. Covered, of course, because it's in the desert, and everyone knows you don't hang out in the sun in the desert for all that long. So he adds all of this to the skating rink, and now he has a place where he can teach his young protege how to skate and prepare for the next Olympics. And hopefully the young one, his name is Gil Stockton, and hopefully Gil can win the gold next time. So yeah, wish him luck on that. So that's my story for Nathan and his young protege Gil, who hopefully will do well, and how our ice rink and fun complex came to be. Incidentally, I have to tell you, I spent way too much time futzing around with cinematics to get those ice skating shots. The stuff that I go through, I don't even know why I do it, but it was kind of fun. Like, it was kind of fun. I wanted to see what the ice skating was all about and everything. And so, yeah, I ended up spending way too much time, and I'm like, oh my God, taking forever on this video. But it was fun to mess around with the ice skating. And I don't know, I like doing the cinematics and stuff sometimes. It's just super time consuming. But so anyway, I ended up having that for the Sims story. And then as far as how the build actually came to be, how it came to my head, this is something that's sort of from my childhood in a way. In my younger years, there was a skating rink in the city next to us, and I went to that skating rink on occasion. However, it was not too much like the skating rink here, just because it was really divey. The city next to us was kind of divey in general. It was not doing well during that time period, and yeah, it wasn't dangerous or anything like that, but it was definitely not a ritzy place or whatnot. So anyway, it had this dome sort of air hangar type of roof on it, and that was one of my main recollections of it. And I remember the skating rink inside a little bit. It had an area where you could rent skates and an area with lockers and whatnot, and you could change shoes, and the entire flooring inside where the skating rink was all this kind of black rubber matting. And so that's what's in this building, is a lot of black rubber matting for the entire area around the skating rink. And then the other thing that building had was it had a divider with glass, so you could see into the skating rink even if you weren't in there, which is highly convenient if you don't want to freeze to death, by the way, because it's a lot colder in a skating rink. And one of the things that I did for this rink because of that is I set it up where it's got two entrances and exits on both sides. There's on the right and left side of the rink, and each of them have kind of a foyer area, an in-between hallway area. And I know for Sims it doesn't matter, but for real life, that's a temperature control thing, because in where the rink is, it's significantly colder than where the concession stand is and where everyone's renting their shoes and changing their skates and all of that stuff. And I have an area that is meant to be a skate rental. You know, it's set up with those things that we got from the bowling pack, the kind of like shoe holders or whatnot. I wish that we had some sort of shoes or something that we could put in there, but that weren't all kinds of crazy colors, because the other one is bowling shoes and it's noticeable that it's bowling shoes. So I just use the empty ones. But I have the little area where sort of mock area where you would rent your skates, and the area where you would change them, and the lockers there and all of that. And then the other add-in for this that I included just for fun is a rock wall, because this is supposed to be a fun recreation park. So I thought that might be a nice little fun addition. The concession stand is way better than the one in my youth. This whole thing is much better than the one from my youth. It was just the one from my youth is just what spurred the idea. And actually it was, if I'm being technical, it was two different ice rinks that I sort of had the idea from in the back of my mind. And the second one was a rink that I used to go to, I went a few times. I didn't go that many times, but a rink where a couple of our local hockey teams played. And so I set this up with bleachers and whatnot because of that rink, because that rink was obviously set up for high school hockey games. And I thought that might be a cool little add to add in some bleachers. And the other thing that I have bleachers on two sides of the rink. And then on the other two sides, I have like basically the area where the teams would sit. So their bench is there on both sides. So it's set up both for ice skating and for hockey. Not that we can do hockey in The Sims, but you know, just the nice thought of it. And I mentioned that the roof came from the one in my youth as far as the dome aspect, but y'all know me. At least those of you that watch me a lot, you know me, and roofs, I have to do things with them. And I've been on this kick lately of doing this kind of roof design stuff that comes out, and I think it looks really good. And so I added it in here. I took some of it through to the back of the roof, and then I did this thing in the back too, which you guys probably already saw if you were paying attention, with the dividers, where, you know, just to make it look a little bit more snazzy in the back. Now, in real life, the building that I used to go to really looked like nothing. It was just this big square block with this I think it might have been a metal like dome roof. I don't even know what it was, but it looked like an airport hangar, kind of, is really what it looked like. So it was not really a particularly good looking place, but I think that that's probably how most skating rinks look. I don't know. I haven't been to a lot of them. But so, and after I did this, I started it on, I think, a 40 by 40 lot or something. And I took up the whole lot, but my problem with it, and I always take up the whole lot, whatever space I'm given, I will build to the edges of it. We already know this. Anyone that knows me knows this. But the problem that I had with it was, once I built the whole thing up, my big vision for it was to have it up on the highest foundation, sitting up where it had stairs all the way around. I wanted it to look like, I don't know. I didn't so much want it to look like stairs, but I kind of wanted it to look like a design element going around the perimeter. I sort of wish I could have done the stairs all the way around, but obviously it's going to look like stairs, but I don't know. I hope you guys know what I mean. I was looking for the stair aspect to be more of a design element. So set up high and around the whole perimeter is what I was looking for. And once I completed the skating rink portion of the build, and I did that, I raised the foundation, put it all up with the stairs and everything. I think that I lost a bit of the stairs, or I lost a bit of the perimeter that I had, because I had some flooring perimeter or something like that. But in any case, I lost a bit of it, and that made me unhappy because I'm way too much of a perfectionist. And yeah, anyway, just perfectionist type. And so that was bothering me because it was off by like one block. And that one block off ended up taking this build from a 40 by 40 to a 50 by 50 because I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. I had to put it on another lot because it was that one block off. So I put it on the 50 by 50. And then once I got on the 50 by 50, I was like, all right, what do I do with it now? Do I just stick it in the middle of the lot? Do I add something to it or what? And then I thought, well, I can just make this a whole big, if I'm on a 50 by 50 lot, let me really use it, and I'll make this into a full blown recreation complex instead of just a skate park. And so that's when I decided to essentially almost do a second build with it. So the second area with the pool and hot tub and the playground and all of that stuff is separated out by a man-made kind of, I don't know, canal thing or whatever. It's just a little body of water. I didn't use the foundation trick where the clear foundation is underneath because this is more man-made and the vegetation wouldn't have made sense. The vegetation required to sort of conceal the not good parts of that wouldn't have made sense. So I went with the regular kind of foundation. And let's see, what else can I tell you guys about this? Oh, about the story, the sim story from the beginning. First off, some of the names are skaters' names because I happen to be a figure skating fan in all actuality. And we've had medalists named Nathan. We've had a medalist named Gillis. So I pulled some of it from that. And Kane was a slight change, sort of. I don't know, 4-letter name or whatnot for Chen, which is another Olympic medalist. So yeah, I pulled from names of actual figure skaters to come up with the names of my characters in my sim story. So really original there, right? And the other thing I do these cheater things, right? And I'm telling on myself too, right? But the other thing that I did, the one that played the Gil Stockton character, I have a couple of clips of him as Nathan's protege. I'm having trouble with that word today. But I have a couple of clips of him as Nathan's protege. Anyway, that kid, this is so funny. That kid is a genetic product of my sim self and my husband's sim self. Now, mind you, I've never had kids. And so it was really kind of funny. So I gave us a son just because of the pure curiosity. What would this kid look like? So I gave us a son, and so I made him part of this little story in here. So yeah, that was kind of fun and interesting little thing to do. My only bad part is I look at this with the park. I like the park a lot, but I just got the toddler pack and I got it after this build was done. So there's no toddler stuff added to it. I would have maybe created a little toddler area, out in the playground area as well had I had it before I completed the build. I don't know. I think I maybe would have, though. I got the pack, but I haven't super looked at it yet because I've been too busy on video creation. So I'm looking forward to looking at that. I actually have 2 new packs that I really haven't fully spent the time to look at. I've got the cool kitchen stuff and the toddler pack. So both of those I need to look at a little bit more and see what they have and what I can use out of them. So good stuff. And the playground, I had a little bit of a decision. Did I want to build the playground up? Did I want to set it in? And I thought, since I have the stairs on the perimeter, I thought that it made sense just to leave the playground up at the top, set up higher. And I put the green flooring that looks, like the grass stuff out in Willow Creek or wherever. And that works well. The only disadvantage to it that I found for me was that I couldn't do any kind of terrain coloring. And so my area underneath the swings and around the monkey bars where I would typically, sort of color those areas with some dirt or whatnot, like you would out on the ground, I wasn't able to do here. But I guess the idea is that that's kind of like AstroTurf. So it wouldn't have dirt anyway, like you wouldn't have those kind of worn sections anyway, I guess. So at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's what I'm going with there, because I'm used to having the terrain paint. And I kind of think terrain paint to me is one of those things that separates a build out. Like it definitely makes a build look more real and natural if you can remember to include terrain paint. So I was kind of missing it in the park a little bit, but yeah, we'll go with the idea that it's AstroTurf, and so no terrain paint, and then it works. And let's see, what else can I tell you before we end up completely? We have cinematics today instead of screenshots because the screenshot system is still not working. So I spent forever to do some cinematics. Included a little chess area as well, so that the parents have something to do while the kids are, playing on the monkey bars and things like that. Oh, I wanted to mention too, I've got the funny roof and all of that. I don't know if anyone new is in watching the video, but if you are new to the channel, I have started to do some tips and things on roofing. I'm just going to do some different videos on tips for building, roofing, whatever I come up with, or if people ask me for certain things or whatnot. I know roofing seems to be a really big problem, so I've got a little focus there, or at least I'm trying to. And yeah, that's probably about it. And other than that, I've got my LP series. Hopefully you guys check that out if you're into that sort of thing. And I think that's it for now, because we're approaching the end of our time together, so I should probably bid you adieu. If you enjoy this, if you enjoy the build, the video, all that stuff, please do make sure to hit that like button before you leave. Comment, share, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications, all that good stuff. And thanks so much for spending the time with me today. I appreciate it. And I hope to see y'all again next time. Bye now.